Alright, I tried this once and I have to try it again. So this is my front door. If you look over there, you'll see some garbage cans. On the other side of those garbage cans is the trail system that I've been blessed to inherit for the time being. If you hear me walking now, you'll hear these bells, and the issue is there's lots of bear scat like all over this trail, and there's cougars out here. There's also elk, and you will sometimes run into people on horses. And horses, I guess, like to hear and see you coming. So if you run up on them all quiet, you can spook them. Here's some scat right here. And that scat's probably 90 yards from my front door, and it's all along this trail, and it seems to get the size seems to get bigger as we go out. So there's those things, but also I'm practicing like hijacking vibration. So if I can get this bell rattling at a certain pace and feel its vibration, kind of see if I can use that. That'd be great, especially if that can translate into a music video or like a marketing video for the things we do. So I'm gonna get jogging and get warmed up, and yeah, I'm gonna get warmed up. So the idea is to go 240 miles October of next year at Moab 240. And to do that, I'm going to have to hit a lot of hills. So I'm walking hills all the time, even now, from the beginning. I'm not trying to hit hills hard. I have a year to go. I have 240 miles to go. And so I'm going to walk all the hills. Sometimes it's hard not to charge the hills still, but I'm getting better. Setting my own pace like that, it is why I like to run alone a lot of the time. I find in life, you tell people you want to do something, and they all start lending all this energy to it, and soon it becomes like not yours. So they're telling you, you know, what to wear, where to go, what to eat, who you should meet. And that all sounds fine and dandy, but I think a lot of people somewhere in there, they lose themselves, and whatever it is that they were getting at gets away from them. And it's like that for like your pace. So if I'm out here And my goal is to finish 240 miles in a designated time. In a designated time, I'm going to have to know my pace and set my pace, and the sooner I get at it, the better. And if I hang out with other runners, you know, they may be like one of these people, 1% better every day. You know, like they gotta get 1% better every day. So they're always like, they gotta go faster, you know. And I'm not trying to blow out anytime soon. Or that's the other thing that they do, is they go real hard and they blow out. Because, you know, I'm hitting that incline, I'm hitting distance, you know. I have an idea for what I'm doing, where I'm going, how I'm going to get there, and what pace I need. And I don't need anybody coming along and like a little faster, you know. Maybe later on somebody could help me fine tune it, maybe, but we'll see. I feel good about where I'm at right now. Feeling strong, feeling like I'm setting a good pace, feeling focused. So now I've reached a spot that's kind of flat, kind of open, and I can attempt to gather some speed. What I'm going to do and experiment with is stealing from sprinters here. Not entirely, but in part, where my arms are like really pumping. And at first, this is gonna seem kind of herky-jerky. Like this arm's gonna be pumping while my body's moving in a weird way, so there's gonna be some herky-jerkiness, and that's gonna cost energy. Also, just the weight of your arms moving like that isn't necessarily like something that you've done, so it's gonna cost energy. And this energy cost often makes it hard for people, trail runners, I guess, that I've talked to. I don't know if it's all of them, but it leads to like when you share this like pumping the arms on these straightaways, they say it costs too much energy. But you'll get better at it, and it'll become natural, and it'll make you faster, and it'll make things easier. I say, why not take advantage of these spots where I can go a little faster and maximize the motion in there, instead of where you're at like on a trail, like downhill, uphill, zigzagging, and like having to do this. You don't really have to do this here. You don't have to really tiptoe here. I see a couple things, but practice will help you with that too. So that's what I'm gonna do right here. I'm gonna steal from sprinting, and I'm gonna pump my arms. I'm gonna see how it feels. I know it's gonna feel herky-jerky because I haven't done it a lot lately. I know it's gonna cost energy now, but I believe it's going to prove more efficient a year from now at Moab 240. And I'm not going to go super hard. I'm just going to borrow a little bit of energy from that realm. I'm not going to like try to sprint this thing at maximum speed. I'm just going to borrow that energy, find a nice flow for what I'm doing. This place is amazing. I feel really fortunate to have landed here. I'm running past this place I've ran past I don't know how many times, and it's almost unrecognizable. If I didn't know where I was, I wouldn't know where I was. The plant life and the coloring in a flash has just changed. And it's like that everywhere around here. It's like this constant flow of colors and plants. It's an overhang, so like you see what's in front of you, right? But if you look up, that all changes too. That all changes. You can hear the wind, the way the wind comes through the trees changes, the sounds change. It's pretty amazing. This is more of the terrain change stuff that I'm talking about. Like, one season, things will be hitting you in the head and in the chest. The next season, you're waist deep in something. The next season, you're ankle deep. Sometimes you're like dodging stuff that's at your head and at your ankles. And this isn't even that bad as it gets. High knees, high knees, high knees. That's what I've found works here. Nice and relaxed, high knees. Just bring your legs up. Yeah, just high knees and keep an eye out, I guess. Now we are to the main spot that I want to film. It has kind of a pulling effect. You're pulled downhill. Gravity is pulling you. It's not very, it doesn't feel very forceful, but it's almost like you can't stop. You got to keep up some quick footwork. It's for a little bit of distance, and it also, you know, zigzags and snakes, and the terrain is mixed up. There's roots, there's rocks, there's loose dirt, and so that is what we want to capture right now, or at least attempt to. I tried to capture it last time, and I had a radio playing, and you know, because I wanted something to play music while I ran, so I could pick up on that. But then that music was coming from my phone, and so when I would record something on the phone, it wouldn't record. It would record like the video, but not the audio, and I think that has something to do with Bluetooth. So this time I brought the bell. I figure a bell's good enough to set a rhythm with. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to run it and film it. Oh, and last time too, I had like a bunch of stuff in my hands, like tools and stuff, like GoPro, arm, or selfie stick, whatever you want to call it, this phone, and it just got in the way. I didn't like that at all. So I am here to try again. We're gonna get me going downhill. I get confused out here, but I always end up back here. Hopefully, we're gonna get me downhill. I'm gonna run like a lollipop type thing, and then we're gonna get me coming uphill here. If not, there's uphills and downhills all over the place around here that are equally as interesting, and we're gonna try to capture those. A little bit of trail running advice. You see those markers right there, right above my head? Keep an eye out for those. And out here it is a little tricky, and you will see other indicators as well. So if you can see that little block right there, that's an indicator out here. Mostly we're looking for those. Out here those get tricky too, which is another good thing for training for the Moab, because I know people have lost track. Moab 240. Because I know people have lost track by not seeing markers or being too stubborn to turn around, or, you know, just too tired or in the zone. I don't know, but people miss trail markers and then they end up off trail. So there's a couple spots in here that in the past I've had to like stop and look. I would say more than a couple. There's a few. It gets tricky out here. So I'm forced to pay attention. And you should as well. Try to develop a keen eye for trail markers. Even if you want to go fast, like you should slow down a little bit and look for these things. And the cool thing is, the more you do it, the faster you're going to pick up on them, and the more you'll be able to stay in your flow instead of having to stop and look around. Let's get to it. And we have to be able to push without stopping. So, step, step, pause is a good thing to practice. Take a few steps, pause. Take a few steps, pause. And this is something you have to do even if the people in front of you are like killing the hill, but you're not used to running hills, and it looks like it may not be that big of a hill, and so you have this thing that makes you want to like just tear up the hill. The key is to keep going, so just step, step, pause, step, step, pause. Start running again when you can. So you'll see here two trail markers, 3 ways to go, or 2 ways to go, and I'm coming from, let's see here, does that work? I'm coming from that way, I'm looking that way, I see this, I see these 2, and I see a trail over here. Now it might seem like those are kind of lined up at first, and you can see how this second one is directing you down this path, right? Sometimes we get in the zone or we get something going on and we miss the little things. Wow. Overall, I'd rate that a great run. I think I got some great footage as well. We'll have to see. The last run was great as well. Even though I had my hands full and stuff, when I got moving, I was moving good. The only disappointment about that last run was the footage. The run itself was pretty great. And this one is on par with that one, if not a little better, because whoever marks the trails did mix it up a little bit. I got to go a little further. I got to feel some anxiety about where I was and overcome that. So yeah, these last 2 runs have been great. Now let's see if we can put some footage together. Kind of an afterthought, or even a forethought for next time, is that if you start thinking about things that bother you or get on your nerves or whatever, you may end up with tension You'll have to excuse me. There was a giant crane over here the last time I came through, and I scared it away. And it's not here. But you'll get this tension. And it may be in your face. You may squint your face. And that's burning energy. Or you may feel it in your neck, or in your shoulders, or in your back, or like you may be making a fist, like clenching your fist while you're moving. And if you can relax that, you'll run better, and you'll have a better time. I think get better results. It's another one of those things though that's like it takes practice, right? Like you're gonna let it go and it's gonna come back. You're gonna let it go, it's gonna come back. You're gonna have lots of failures, and it's just try again.